Welcome to CryptoCoins, where we review the best coins for you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today we have an exciting project to talk about. They've got a lot of information, a lot of good stuff. I'm going to get through as much of it as I can. There's a lot of good things to look at. But before we do, just got to remind you, I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. I'm simply a geek on the internet who either likes to, entertain you or give you things that I think you guys will find interesting or give you a new perspective on something. But, on this particular one, I think you guys will find some interest and intrigue. But I always greatly urge you to utilize your own due diligence. Any of these things I talk about, always do your own research, and there's a lot of research you can do with this one today. So we are going to talk about it. We're talking about BPG or blockchain property gate. So what they essentially do, we'll talk a little bit about that as well as look at their white paper and see how they plan on doing it, their goals, and how it's going to all come together, or how they suggest it's going to come together. They have quite a few socials. We'll go through a couple of those as well. But basically, they are aiming to democratize the real estate sector, by making both housing and real estate investments more affordable. As someone who is talking to you from a home that I'm currently buying, I can safely say that the only reason I am buying this is because I managed to get in just in time before inflation got so crazy and prices on houses got so much by purchasing through a bank. And but we'll talk about what these guys are offering as kind of an alternative to that. Basically, they're introducing a unique circular economy focused on selection, acquisition, renovation, and renting out or reselling of existing properties. With this model, they aim to, with this particular thing, they're looking to disrupt eventually reduce the cost of housing prices and rents even up to 30%. The BPGT token, or the BPG token, I'll just call it the BPGT, is the heart of the ecosystem, and it gives dividends amounting to 30% of the net profit of the project. As I was kind of describing, it's looking to solve a property. Real estate has been the best performing investment in the last 140 years. However, skyrocketing prices are also presenting us with a challenge. Both housing and real estate investment are going out of reach for most people. It's just a fact. And so they're introducing this model. The project basically involves two key points. The first one is that there's a lack of affordable housing, which is realistically supposed to be a basic human right. You should be able to have shelter and it not be a crazy to be able to afford it. Yet fewer and fewer people own homes, and it's just a fact. And it's only possible realistically for the majority of wherever you are, especially here in America, to get that through a bank loan. But the second issue is that it requires really high capital for real estate investments, making them reserved mostly for just companies and top 1% high net worth individuals, both of which are issues that are aiming to be resolved by BPGT and its underlying business model. So they are aiming to pave the future of the real estate sector by solving some of its most pressing issues, diminishing housing affordability and lack of access to profitable and low-risk real estate investments. How it works, it kind of tells you here: selection and acquisition. They are adopting unique selection process consisting of 50 different variables focusing on acquiring whole buildings. The goal is the selection of high quality properties at lowest cost possible, which will be either rented out or renovated. I believe when I was looking at it, they were mostly looking at houses made in the 70s and 80s that are still in really good condition, but are sold below market value. And so that's where they're trying to get their worth from, like managing to buy good housing that has basically, they're just looking to be resold, and investing in those and maybe like renovating them and making them a little bit better so they can then turn it over for a profit, but while also substantially keeping the pricing lower for the individuals who are getting into the market. So 75% of acquired properties are rented out, and the remaining 25% are renovated according to their cost-effective modular renovation methodology, which offers a high degree of flexibility and customization possibilities. I was also reading, and we'll look more into it as well. They're looking to eventually get into the market once they've made enough profit and whatnot, of potentially doing build-ups as well, which is like building on new ground and whatnot. But that's a little bit more of a rare, I won't call it rare, but a harder thing to do, especially while they're still trying to get the ball rolling. So I think they're primarily focusing on the acquisition and remodeling, renovating, and redistribution of houses that are already on the market, but at a better, more affordable rate, where people are not just dying to the banks and their insane interest rates and stuff like that. The net profit they generate will be reinvested into further property acquisition, company expansion, and building capital reserves. 30% will be specifically dedicated towards dividend payouts for the token holders. So that's an important thing to know about the token investment, is that 30% will be dedicated towards dividend payouts. And so here's some of their key goals: fundraising, STO fundraising round, and property acquisition, real estate company acquisitions, looking to restructure with at least 500 to 600 housing units, acquisition of property management company, key goals during development phase 2. So you can kind of see the breakdown of their development phases here. Lots of good information. Also in their white paper, we'll go through some of that as well. But basically, this is a strategy of selecting undervalued properties and the acquisition of below market prices, renting out, cost-efficient renovation, and then the resale of properties. And it's a cycle of this that can be repeated. And that way each time it becomes a little bit stronger and generates more returns for those holders of the token. And we'll go through, we'll look at the white paper a little bit here. Democratizing the access of sustainable and affordable real estate. That is the whole goal here. Abstract: residential real estate has been the best investment one could make in the past 140 years. We kind of read that already. That was kind of there on the front page. But you can kind of see house prices and rents in the EU. Obviously, I'm here in America, so it's a little bit different, but it's very similar. Like housing pretty much everywhere, and inflation pretty much everywhere is a very consistently bad thing. So realistically, it's good to see someone, attempting to do something about it. Even if it is in a for-profit manner, it's also as well could be good for the individual who's looking to get into purchasing and getting into the market. The solution they're putting forward is they create the first full-fledged solution to most pressing issues currently in the real estate market by introducing a sustainable business model underpinned by security token. The goal of the project is to democratize and the access to sustainable, affordable housing and profitable real estate investments. Blockchain Property Gate will initially target the German market, expand throughout Europe in the foreseeable future, and become a decisive factor on the worldwide scene in the long term. I hope it does, because that would be nice. By utilizing the long-standing experience of the team behind the project on the real estate market, Blockchain Property Gate utilizes a unique methodology for the selection. As I kind of mentioned, they have a way where, they target very specific types, and the goal is to rent out, renovate, and sell those housing spaces, and according to the cost effective sustainable methodology that they've already put forth and I've already talked about to some extent here. The issues in the real estate sector, pretty cut and dry: skyrocketing real estate prices, decreasing housing affordability, dependence on banks to get those houses, lack of supply of new housing, no political support for prospective homeowners, rising inflation leaving less and less disposable income, high capital requirements for investors, and their solution to this is with it, by utilizing their methodology and their business model. The goal is going to be lower the property prices of up to 30%. They have a mission to make housing affordable for pretty much all social classes, greatly reduce the dependence on banks, increase supply by using existing buildings, build-ups, and lowering the development cost, lowering rent by considerable margin, and creating savings through lower housing costs, all while using the security token with low capital requirements, and it is also passive income. So yeah, that's a pretty good run through of it. They also do down here from this point forward have a kind of a step-by-step process of how it works. The fundraising portion, the project holds a security token offering with BGPT tokens to raise funds. They're going to dedicate around 65% of those funds towards the acquisition. So that is this fundraising portion that they're in. Step 2 is going to be the selection. About 65% of those proceedings are going to be collected, invested in the acquisition of buildings. And like I said, they're going to be targeting a lot of buildings that were built in the 70s and 80s. In the last century. However, they will also include newer projects if they fit their selection criteria that I was kind of mentioning before. They have something I think is pretty important to point out is their factors. They have like 50 different criteria that things have to meet in order for them to go ahead with those acquisitions. They're going to, their macro factors include the conditions that the geographic positioning is offering. They're going to prioritize regions with high sustainable economic strength, low unemployment, good work and training opportunities. I also imagine good trade work as well, but as well as micro factors, including the location and of the property and the infrastructural accessibility. So there's a lot here for the selection process. It's good to know that they are vetting very strongly, trying to pick only the best that they really feel that they can reutilize and get out for a cheaper price to create passive income, but also get things out to put it back out on the market at a more affordable rate for some lucky buyers. And then step 3 is the renting out, renovation, and selling of those properties. Once they've acquired them, the remaining properties, not more than 25% are renovated. So yeah, let's see, pay out dividends. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Their methodology includes a new inside-out approach, faster than traditional methods, cost-efficient, flexible and modular, sustainable, energy-efficient, quicker turnover, and improved cash flow. Like that's a nice reduced version of it right there. Step 4, from the renovated properties, around 25% of them are going to be resold, while 75% are rented out, both at competitive prices. And that's a big deal, essentially allowing them to fulfill the promise of affordable housing that many governments in the EU have promised but not been able to deliver. And then you also have the net profit split down here. So it's broken up into phases. Have your development phases down here. So that was on the front page as well. A lot of information, like I said. I know I'm just piling information on you guys, but I do that because it is interesting. Like it is, there's a lot. I appreciate when people who create a project like this have put in the time, the initiative. They have all this information out there for you to learn about, and it's mostly my job to kind of let you know about it, try and get you, to see, what might be something you might want to look further into. So I'm going to stop with all the major information, but just know that white paper is there with a ton of info, as well as their main page has a lot of that information as well. You can kind of see their project roadmap. You can meet the team here and their advisory board. They're on LinkedIn, but they've been audited, so that is good to know as well. I think pretty much the only other thing is down in the description, we will have links to everything. They have a lot. They have Facebook, they have Twitter. You can check out their Facebook. They've got some stuff going on over there. They have Twitter as well for you guys to check out. And they even have a YouTube. Looks like they only have one video so far, but they do have a YouTube. They also have Medium. They have Reddit. They have Telegram. A lot of things you guys can check out. A lot of information out there for you to learn about it. I think it's a great prospect. It's a great idea. If they can pull it off, I really hope they can pull it off. There's a lot of people that could use some cheap, good homes. So if they can do what they're trying to set out to do, that would be absolutely fantastic. We'll say private sale starting in 24 days. So I guess that is something to keep an eye out for if you are interested in it. But that's all I got time for today. Let me know down in the comments below if you've heard of these guys. What do you think? Are you going to take a look at them now that you heard a bit more about them? Like I said, there's a lot of information for you guys to go through. Definitely recommend you reading through all of it, seeing if it's worthwhile for you guys. I think it could be really cool. I'm here in America. I'm already signed into my signed my life away to the bank. So this sounds like a pretty interesting prospect. But that's all I got for today. You guys take care. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.